Greetings, theists and non-theists. I'm the Atheist Paladin. Today's subject will be the separation of church. It's good for you whether you like it or not. As the old idiom says, that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And it seems like the Christian right and the move in America today seems to want to ignore the history of the separation of church and state. It has been good to everyone, and this is the reason why Christianity is still very good and thriving in America today, because we are not enforcing religion on anyone. But as we can look in the past, we can see that states that did not have the founding principles of the separation of church and state pretty much killed anyone that did not agree with the state religion. As again, remember the Roman pagan emperors, they pretty much gleefully killed the Christians. Or at least so we heard. And then we have this church when the Holy Roman Empire came to power. Oh, it was very lovely. They turned around and they killed the pagans, and they killed witches, and they killed other Christians because they weren't a part of their particular sect. And it just kept happening. There was continuing inquisitions and witch trials and crusades against the Muslims for centuries. There was nearly constant wars in the Dark Ages because you weren't part of their particular sect or brand of religion. That's all it boils down to. And religion was happy to take control of standing armies and use them to the propagation of their own control. And the kings back then, they were happy to let that happen as long as they gained power by it. And it's silly. People died because of such silly bickerings over religion. And I think that's what the Founding Fathers had in mind when they established the First Amendment, that Congress shall not abridge the rights or establish any church religion. I mean, you have the right to practice your religion, and you don't have to worry about a state legislating what type of religion you must have. And this is good for everybody, because the true founding principle of America is not Christianity, but actually religious tolerance and a secular government. And these work to everyone's benefit. You do not have to worry about somebody, going to kill you because you lost your Christian faith, or you switched to another Christian faith, or you're a part of another religion. And this is why we have Wiccans in America today. We have Buddhists, we have Hindus, we have Muslims, we have all sorts of variety of faiths in America. And it's going to be horrible if we go around and forget what the separation of church and state protects us from. It protects the meddling of government in the churches, and it protects the meddling of churches and government. We do not want, the church to have their hands on standing armies, who have always been rabid and foaming at the mouth. Christians are foaming at the mouth today to get, to kill them. The extremist Muslims today they're excited about going to war all the time. Just look at George W. Bush. He said God told him to go to war in Iraq. We saw how well that turned out to be, and they want to go to war with Iran. It's all part of this geopolitical, religious bullshit, and that keeps us fighting constant battles, and it destroys the true strength of America. And we should not get into this sort of thing because it is horrible. Christians, what's worse about it, they have this sort of false persecution syndrome of, we don't have prayers in schools. Bullshit, you do. What happened was it eliminated forced prayer and forced Bible study. There are many schools which still continue to have a Bible elective. It is just no longer enforced for any students to have such a thing. You can pray in school all you like as long as it does not disrupt school activities. So you still have all that. They're not going to, Christians, kill them. No, it's not what's happening in the schools. And now they want to say, we're being persecuted because we don't have creationism in schools. Oh, please. Oh, please, if you want to teach your kids creationism, if you want to teach your kids abstinence only, then you, the parent, has to do it. And I don't want someone teaching my kids something that I don't agree with. And you're the same way. So if you don't want your kids to be taught evolution, well, then put them in a private school. Put them in a private school where it's all creationism. But don't enforce my tax dollars to go to your religious activities. It simply is not going to work. It's already worse that we have our taxes taken away and enforced for other things that we don't like, that we can both agree on a secular manner at least. But why should we give money to churches in order to run their own organizations? Are they that weak that they cannot run themselves, that they require state enforcement for them to stay up? As we can see in much of Europe today, it's no longer the home of Christendom. Unbelief is on the rise in Europe today. And why is that? Because they did not have enforcement of the separation of church and state. They enforce religion. That's not a good thing for religion. The more you force it on others, the more they rebel against it. And that's the ironic thing. Christians want to talk about free will and freedom of choice, but they don't want to give their own fellow American citizens that same choice. They want to say, you follow our rules or else. And this is simply ridiculous. Separation of church and state is not only a vital thing today, it is the greatest things that what makes America America. And why does the fundamental right don't recognize this? Who knows? They're on a self-destructive path that is going to hurt the rest of America. And time will show this. So remember, people, rationality is the path to righteousness.